Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Shane and I are back for another Survivor What If, pondering the question of the Survivor multiverse. As you can see, we have two-time Survivor player Danielle from Survivor Panama and Heroes vs. Villains. Welcome, Danielle, to the Tribe of Nerds.
Hi, thank you guys so much for having me.
Of course.
So cool to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, like I told you, like your seasons are up there in terms of my season rankings, so it's really exciting.
I love it. That makes me
Yeah,
happy.
and you've played with some of the wildest survivors, I would say. I mean, you've been on a tribe with Russell, Shane Powers, Courtney.
Yeah, I'm like,
Merritt.
why do I get stuck with the crazies? Like, what I keep aligning with these people that are like so controlling and so mean. Like, what the hell? And I pick them. It's like, what?
Right.
Maybe I need to reassess, like, how I pick people and how I it's funny because like in my real life, like I have a really good read on people normally. So to have picked both of them like right off the bat, just off of their appearance, boy, was I wrong. No, but it was fun. It was great. It's wild to like watch it back and see, yourself as a 24-year-old, being, I'm not gonna say my age, but I'm a lot older now and a lot wiser. And it's pretty trippy to watch yourself and go through those experiences with those type of people. God.
Sure. Well, let's get into your what ifs, Danielle. So you gave us the first one. So from Panama, so we know that the Kasaya, the 6 of you, made it to the final 7, and it was just Terry left with an idol in his pocket, and he was winning challenges. And Bruce gets medically evacuated at the final 7. But what if Bruce doesn't get medically evacuated and either Terry loses immunity and you guys try to vote him out, or he keeps winning immunity? What happens with Bruce still there?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if Bruce was in the game, I would have not voted Courtney out. I feel like I would have voted Shane out right away. And that would have it would have wiped away my insecurities with Courtney and Shane. Because one of the reasons why I voted Courtney out was because I really felt like she could flip with Shane and Terry potentially. There was a lot of them. They were talking a lot. I know Terry was working her and she seemed like really unstable emotionally. And I just felt like I love her to death. And, I felt terrible voting her off because she was my number one from day one.
Mhm.
And rewatching it, I'm like, oh man, like, but it's so different from like watching it on TV than actually being there and that like going through a day-to-day, just the day-to-day tasks with everybody and like just seeing how everyone was melting down and like so untrustworthy. Like you think you trust this person, but then in reality like they're losing their mind and they're having all these different conversations behind your back and you don't know if you really can trust them. And I just had to go with my gut and I had to say, I know they edited it and made it seem like Suri made that decision, but honestly, it was me. I was afraid of their relationship. I talked about it at the one of the challenges, the reward challenge with Aris and Suri. And I just said, they're getting really, I feel like Courtney has a crush on Shane and that's definitely, that's dangerous. That's really dangerous in the game of Survivor. If two people connect, I mean, you could see what happened with Boston Rob and, all the other relationships that have formed. It's not a good thing. So I voted her off. And if Bruce was there, I wouldn't have voted her off. Would have voted Shane. And then it would have been me, Shane, and Courtney would have been tight. I had a really close relationship with Suri, but I knew Suri was really tight with Aris. And me, Aris, and Suri had our own alliance. And I know like Shane was in the alliance, but like he wasn't really in the alliance. I mean, he was in the alliance because we just needed to like babysit him. But then in reality, like he thought he was in control of everything, but he really had no idea what was going on. We played him like a fiddle. But anyways, so I feel like that it would have changed up my game completely. And if Terry kept winning, then I think I would have gone after Aris. I think Aris would have been after Shane. I think I would have kept Aris and voted Shane first and then went Aris. And then I would have came down to like me, Bruce, and Courtney and Suri. And, I think at that point, I would have gone Suri. I mean, I say that now, but I think I would have voted Suri off and I would have gone with Bruce and Courtney. And I think I would have had a really good shot at winning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the what ifs.
Yeah. I think you definitely beat Courtney. I mean, everybody was trying to take Courtney to the end. So.
Well, then if he kept winning, I forgot about Terry. So if Terry, I guess if he won five immunity challenges after the merge. So technically he would have kept winning, unless they changed up the challenges according to who was there, which they might have done that. But, just say Terry kept winning, then we would have picked off Suri probably next. And then hopefully either me, Bruce, or Courtney would have won one of those immunity challenges and got Terry off. And then we would have been the final three. So that was so Bruce was a huge, I had a really good connection with him. I trusted him. That would have been huge if he stayed in the game. And it's like thinking back about it, I'm like, wow, it really would have made a huge difference in the game if he had stayed and not gotten voted off. Medevaced off.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and it seemed like you two were close. He was one of your 2 jury votes, so it seemed that way.
Yeah.
In the show.
Yeah, for sure. No, he would have aligned with me and done. We would have worked together for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the scenario that you were in, where you ended up going to the end with Aris, like, was that more just like out of necessity because that's just the way the numbers went, or like did you ever have plans to go with Aris to the end at any point?
No, absolutely not. No, I didn't have plans to go to the end with Aris. But the thing of it was, like, back then, like, loyalty was such a big deal, like staying true to your alliance. It's like, it's not now, but back then it was. And so I was in my head about all the jury members. Like, if I had taken Terry, I felt like they would have voted for Terry because he beat everybody out on all the immunity challenges, and he windled his way through, like, those circumstances, and he got to the end. And I felt like they would have respected him for that. So I was like, and also too, sidelines, Suri told me, she swore on her kids, if I took Aris, that she would get everybody on the jury to vote for me. And her and I had such a good connection, and I really, really trusted her, that I really believed her in that moment. She swore on her kids. I know people swear on their kids now, and it's not a big deal, but back then when you swear on your children, I think you're serious, right? I don't think you're going to say that and then betray somebody. Russell's capable of doing that, and I think he even said at one, he did. He swore on his kids. But people like that swear on their children and don't think twice about it. I just didn't think Suri would do that. So that had a little bit about push for me to take Aris as well. But the main thing I think was that the loyalty. I thought the people would respect that I brought him to the end. We all made it to the end from the Kasaya tribe, and we were so dysfunctional, and nobody believed in us, and we fought constantly and bickered, and everyone didn't get along. And so I really thought that I would have been more respected to take Aris. But had Terry given me that idol, I was gunning for Aris at the end. I don't know if you guys remember, but if Terry had given me the idol in that tribal council, and we could have voted Aris off. And then it would have been me, Terry, and Suri.
Mm-hmm.
So, right? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
It would have been me, Terry, and Suri. It had to given me that idol. So, and that would have been a huge move for me if I could convince him to give me the idol. But I wasn't interested in aligning with him earlier because I couldn't trust him. Mm-hmm. I felt he was not the best social, he wasn't telling me things that he wasn't helping me build trust in him. The things that he was saying to me was just I knew it was coming from he just needs to do what he needs to do for him. And this is not he's not going to help me he's not going to help me. Like I felt like Suri and Aris, I could trust more. I was with them the entire game. But taking Terry to the end, I just felt like in my heart that I was going to lose votes, because he's a Navy SEAL. He would have got more respect because he beat 5 immunity challenges. I mean, it was a difficult, it was a difficult choice. As you guys could see, I was torn up about it because it was $1 million choice. And it's like, obviously, those two at the end, the game was based on like, oh, like Terry, it's the Terry and Aris rivalry. Like, what about the 24-year-old girl that like made herself to second place? Like, how about that? Like, I worked my way. I went to Exile Island 3 times. I was in charge of the Bobby vote. I worked Shane the whole time. Like I let him think he was controlling the game so he would be comfortable. Courtney and I had an alliance from day one. I stayed with her until I felt like I had to cut her loose. And then I cut her. And then, Suri, me and Aris like stayed true to each other to the end of the game and showed loyalty. And, I did my best in challenges. I know Shane said I didn't do work around camp, but I did. I worked a lot harder than he made me feel like that I did. And he was so demeaning and mean to me that I was so insecure. He made me so insecure when I was speaking. Like I couldn't even talk because like every time, like especially on the tribal council at the end, he was just, him and Courtney were like staring at me and like daggers. And I was like, oh, like I just wanted to shrivel up and die. I was like, it's like back then just, it's just wild. Anyways, I'm blabbing.
You're good. How crazy was it that then you got Shane's jury vote? Because I mean, it was based on the numbers.
No, it was based on the numbers. It was wild. I mean, I just think he was so mad at Aris. It wouldn't have mattered the numbers. I think that was that was just for show. I think he definitely just wanted to vote for me because he didn't like Aris. He was upset that Aris broke his trust.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Shane, you want to get into heroes versus villains?
Sure. So you come back, like 4 years later to heroes versus villains. I mean, you're a villain, which the reasoning why is kind of weak. I don't know that you're actually a villain, but
I kind of like rewatching it. It's like I turned against my alliances. So and that's what they consider being villainous, is like turning against people you align with and, not having any shame about it. And I did that. And so I did that 3 times. So maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I know Jeff has said it was based on you turning on Terry, I believe is what he's continually said, but
and anyone in their right mind would have done the same thing. Like, it's like, come on. That's like, he wasn't in my alliance. He was trying to get to the end, like really bad. And he was winning all the immunity challenges. He's a Navy SEAL. Like, I mean, I had to make the right decision for myself. So it's a game of Survivor. That's what you're supposed to do, right? You're supposed to do,
right.
You're eventually going to turn on people. But when you do, it's like, oh, they're a villain. It's like, no, they're not. Unless you're like a Russell, which is like completely like heartless and inhumane, like that, you have to make moves along the way and hurt people's feelings.
Right.
So, but there's a bit of a finesse with that. And I think I lack that a lot. And that's why if I like could come back on the show again, I'm a social butterfly in my real life. And I'm really likable. And like my husband always makes fun of me. He's like, I can put you in a room with anybody and you can get along with everyone and everyone will love you. But it's like in the show, it doesn't come off like that. Like I'm aggressive, I'm competitive, I'm tough. I know all of that. But I feel like if I were to play again, I would try to stay true to like who I really am and work the social aspect of the game a lot better and just have more of a finesse with it, be kinder, smoother, like don't have an opinion, but don't be so aggressive with the opinions and stuff. So I don't know. I'm blabbing again.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of heroes and villains, so you're on the villains tribe. You align pretty closely with Russell and Parvati. You make it all the way to the final 7, and then Russell turns on you and votes you out. What if he doesn't turn on you and, you know, this strong 3-person alliance you have keeps going? Like, how do you think the rest of the season turns out? Are you in the final 3? Do you have a chance to win? Take us through all of that.
Yeah. So Russell was going the next tribal council. Like Sandra and I and Parvati, we had been like, I wanted him out so badly, especially at that point in the game. I was, you know, I used him until, and that's one of my first interviews was I aligned with him. He's a good person to align with because everybody's focusing on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you use him until you don't need him anymore. And then, you know, then you vote him off. So the night before that tribal council that I got voted off, Sandra and I and Parvati were like, we got to get him off next. We were going to vote Rupert that night. And then Russell was next, without a doubt. And if that had happened, Rupert had gone home and I stayed, Russell would have been gone. I mean, that would have been easy vote. Like Colby would have voted him, no problem. Not Rupert, because he was gone. Sandra, Jerry. I mean, Jerry might have been the only one, but she would have voted with us 100%. So Russell would have been gone. And then what it would have been Sandra, Jerry, Colby, Parvati, and me. And then that next challenge was like one where you like hold up wood for like a long time, and Parvati ended up winning that. But I would have given her a run for her money. I feel like it was her and Rupert, and she beat Rupert, but I would have been right there with them. And I know how important that challenge would have been. And so I would have fought until I would never have given up. And I potentially could have won. And if I had won, Parvati would have been gone next.
Wow.
100%. Yeah, she would have been gone next for sure. Because I mean, I knew at that point I couldn't I wouldn't have been able to beat her at the end. Maybe. I don't think so. So no, I take that back. So I had to write this all down so I could remember it. But yeah, no. So Russell would have been gone first, and then we probably would have got Colby off second, and then Parvati.
Right.
Then Parvati. So then it would have came down to like me, Sandra, and Jerry. And we would have been in the final 3. And that's saying Parvati didn't win an immunity challenge. So if Parvati won an immunity challenge, then, you know, Sandra or Jerry probably would have gone home unless she got them to vote me off, which could have been very likely as well. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think the Russell would have gone and Colby would have gone, no issues. But it would have just kind of depended on who won immunity challenge, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So how do you think
I would have had a really good shot? I mean, whether I came in 4th or 3rd or 2nd, or if I got to the top 3, I would have had a good chance to win. I really do believe that. So if I had just not had a mental breakdown with Russell and saying how close I was to Parvati, I could have backtracked and like really like watching it now. I'm like, oh, if I had just. But Jeff kept like digging. I'm like,
right.
I'm watching him. I'm like, why? Like, leave me alone. Like, I'm breaking down. Like, don't keep asking me questions. It's like he fed right into it. But I should have I just couldn't deal with Russell anymore. He was he was so insane to work with. Like he had like crazy eyes. Like he would literally like stare at you throughout the entire game. Like every day, if you did something he didn't like, he would race up to you and be like, "You're next." It was so wild working with someone like that. Like I like it really did feel like being in like an emotionally abusive relationship. It was awful.
Oh no. Did
I know
any
it's
of you
game, and I know that was the way that you played, so I feel bad
Right.
saying that, but like when you're in those conditions and you're so run down, it's like
Right.
and you're aligned with someone like that, it just makes it so much harder to like just get through it, you know? It's like everyone's here to play, but like let's have some sort of humanity in this game. Like you don't have to be evil. God bless him, like that's the way he decided to play. I don't really respect it, but it is how he chose to play, and clearly it didn't work out for him. So
No.
Right. Yeah. Did he give you any of you any insight into like how his game in Samoa went? Because you all went in and nobody had seen him or known who he was. Like, did he tell you like how he played or how far he went?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like he told us that, I mean, we knew he did really well. Like they weren't going to invite him back. I think he said he made it to like the top 3. But I don't think he definitely didn't say. Yeah, I think he did. I think he did tell us that. But I mean, it was kind of obvious. Like they're not going to like invite somebody back right away to like, you know, an all-star season unless they did something really crazy. So we knew.
Right.
But like I knew, but like you don't really know unless you, especially someone like him. Like there really hasn't been someone like him.
Right.
You know, Johnny Fairplay, but that was like moons ago, and I don't even think Johnny Fairplay like compares to Russell with the way that Russell played so consistently. You know, mean, careless, free. Yeah, not good.
I couldn't even imagine playing that way and not like thinking about how others feel and whatnot.
I know. I'm like, how did you not? That just goes to show you, like, he has to have some sort of like the way he is in his real life. He has to be like that, like in some sense, you know, because to be able to come on like that and just so easily just like rip into people and like, oh, you're next, and just be so heartless and you know, like not care about anyone's feelings. Like the way he spoke to people was brutal.
Yeah, and I mean, even sort of outside the game, because at the Samoa reunion, when he found out he lost, like he tried to buy the title from Natalie and like kind of put her down. But I'm guessing he knew he lost Heroes and Villains because like you could all tell that jury was not voting him. And then thought he won Samoa, so he's like, oh, I just lost twice.
And I even gave him an opportunity to be like, I was like, would you change anything about your game? It's just like, he could have had some, like he could have, at that point, if he had said, you know what, I played a pretty ruthless game and I thought that that was what this game was. Like, I thought that that would give me the upper hand if I played this way. And this is not who I am as a person. You know what I mean? If he just kind of like elaborated and kind of just like stuck up for, or just owned how he played, but just also like told everyone that this is not who he really is. And that, but he didn't do any of that. Like he didn't have any empathy for anyone or any care for like how he played, you know, so evilly. And it just like, I don't know. That clearly, like, that's not the way you play the Survivor. Yeah. If you want to win the $1 million, if you want to get to the, I mean, now everyone is aware of that gameplay and no one respects that. So.
Yeah.
So going into that final tribal, was your vote like pretty much locked for Parvati since you were so close with her throughout the game, or were you more open between like her and Sandra's?
Yeah, no, I was pretty locked in with Parvati. I don't really feel that Sandra did very much. Like, I don't feel like she deserved to be in that spot, honestly. And so I felt like it was a given. Like my relationship with Parvati, like I had built such a friendship with her out there, truly, and like I really didn't do that with anyone else. So I felt like she played a great game. Like she does what she does, and she, you know, she gets what she wants, and she, you know, she plays a great game and she does it really well. For sure. And I respected the way that she played. She wasn't ruthless. She was, you know, everyone was gunning for her from the beginning. Like she was the biggest threat right away, and she made it all the way to the end. Like that says something about her. She had 2 idols. She gave them to Jerry and Sandra to gain loyalty. I mean, that was a huge move. And she stuck up. She like dealt with Russell. Like the fact that she could handle him so much better than me. Like she would just be her bubbly, like, you know, flirty self. And I just was just like, I could not. I took it too personally, the way he was treating me. It just ate at me. It was like a trigger. I was like, I can't like deal with someone like making me feel like I'm so small and I'm in a box. Like I have to have, you know, I anytime I would try to share an opinion, and I was always sharing my opinions with him and telling. I know they made it seem, the editing made it seem like he made all the decisions with the voting, and that's not true. Like the people that were voted off, like that's not, he didn't make all of those. We all were like, you know, had an opinion about it. And, you know, Boston Rob honestly, like that was me. I was fighting. I know like Russell wanted to get him off, but not at that time. And I was like, Boston Rob, it's funny because Boston Rob is like I looked at him as like an idol. When I saw him, I was like kind of starstruck a little bit. And then when I got on the show, I was like, oh man, I was like, I wanted to be able to work with him because he's from Boston, I'm from Boston. But he was so like, he had his people under control. And like, I just didn't feel like I didn't want to be controlled by him. I felt like if I didn't do what he wanted me to do, then I wasn't going to be able to be in his alliance. So it just didn't work out. And, obviously Russell and me and Parvati aligned right away. But yeah, that was wild watching that back too about Boston Rob. But yeah, I mean, my point is that Russell, I lost my train of thought, but Russell didn't have the say on all of the votes, as it made it seem like that through the editing, but there really were, I was really gunning for Boston Rob. Who was after Rob? Courtney. Yeah. Parvati wanted to keep Courtney. I really wanted to get rid of Courtney. Sandra really wasn't threatening to us. So we, we wanted to keep her around. But obviously the heroes. But yeah, anyways, so.
Yeah. So speaking of the heroes, so a big moment that we've heard things from the edit is the Colby watching Treasure Island and you and Amanda fighting over the idol clues. So what actually happened with that?
Yeah, that was wild. We were sitting there watching the movie, and I was aware that there was going to be a hidden immunity, a clue for the immunity idol, and I was looking around the room. I was just trying to think about like where it could possibly be. And so I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like on edge because I'm like, where is it? How is this going to happen? And I'm like eating the popcorn and I feel it. And I'm like, oh shit. How am I going to do this? Because they're like right next to me. And Amanda is like a hawk. She's on it. Yeah. She's doing the same thing. She's looking around. Like I could tell like any movement I made, she was just like, phew. So I, watching it now, I'm like, why did I do my arms so, I dramatized like the whole arm movement to put the clue under the bed. I should have just like smoothly like put it like in my pants. But I felt like she was watching me so closely that she would have saw that too. But at least I would have had it in my possession. But anyway, so yeah, I put it under the bed, not thinking that actually I put it under the bed, but then I picked it up and I put it behind me. And so she came around and she, as you guys saw, she grabbed it from underneath me, which I thought was like wild. Like, first of all, I didn't think you could do that.
Right.
I mean, if someone has possession of the clue, you can't steal the clue from somebody.
Right.
But in that moment, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I thought maybe she can take it from me and now she has it. And so yeah, the best part was Colby. I mean, he was on. I wasn't expecting him to take my side, but I think I was like, my adrenaline was rushing, and I was, running, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Colby, right? Like this isn't right. Like I'm expecting him to be like, well, Danielle, like, it is a game for $1 million, blah blah blah. But he was like, nope. He totally took my side and had her give it back to me, and I was like, thank God. But that was it was wild watching myself go after her. Oh my goodness. What did you guys think watching it? Were you like, what is happening?
That was definitely my thought.
Yeah, so thank God Colby told her to give it back to me. I don't know what would have happened. I think I probably would have just fought her down to the ground and ripped it from her hand, honestly. I wasn't going to let her walk away with it. I'm like, I found it. It's mine. So, yeah, that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and then we voted her off next. And I was the one that was like, we got to get rid of her immediately. Like, she is playing the game way too hard. Like, for her to come at me like that and, like, rip the clue from underneath me, like, she's got to go. And then of course,
Right.
like Russell, voted her off, but that was all me. I came back from the thing and we're like, we're going for Amanda. Amanda's got to go. So yeah, that was, I mean, she was playing a great game, and she and Parvati had that friendship, so like that was dangerous too. So especially for me, because I was so close with Parvati and I didn't want there to be any funny business going on between the two of them. So I was like, let's just get her off so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. Speaking of friendships, I mean, you had that alliance from your original season with Suri, and she's on the Heroes tribe. Were you hoping she'd make the merge and you could link up with her, or was it kind of like a brand new game?
Yeah, no, I was. I was I was really hoping that she would make it, because I could totally work with her again. And now I know, how manipulative that she is and how much of a great social player she is, that I would have been a lot more like aware and just on my toes about it. Like, I don't know how trusting I would be when we got to the end. I can trust her. I know that I can trust her to a certain point, and then then I would have to, orchestrate some way to kind of get her off, because that woman she's a mover and a shaker, and she can find her way towards the end and manipulate people like crazy. She's really good at that.
Yeah, she's never gone out normally. Like, it's always been some crazy thing that's taken her out of the game.
I know. Except, I guess with me too, with the fire challenge.
Yeah.
She got taken out that way. And I'm excited to watch her on season 50.
Yeah. What are your full thoughts on season 50? I know you talked about it with Brandon Donlin on the Survivor 50 files, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, initially, I just don't feel like it's what they talked about it was going to be. I don't feel like it's a full representation of like the 50 seasons that have been, that have been on. And I don't think it's a good representation of like what the show is, because there's so many like, new era players. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But also like, understanding too, like the casting is different. Like the main casting director, Lynn Spillman, casted a lot of, she's the best, and she casted a lot of us from the earlier seasons, kind of like the OG survivors. And so she left, I think she left like 8 years ago, or quite some time. And there's like a new person in, I think his name is Jesse. And, he casted more of like the new era players. So, I mean, maybe it had something to do with like, he wanted it to be more of the people that he casted, which makes sense. But also too, with like Mark Burnett and Jeff Probst, I'm surprised that they casted so many newer players.
Right.
But I mean, I think it's still going to be like an epic season. I'm excited. I'm really upset that I'm not going to be on it. I think it would have been really cool to play with Coach and play with Suri, play with, the people at Colby, play with people that I've already played with. And, now, and Stephanie, I didn't really get to play with her. I mean, I pulled her shoulder out in like the first challenge, and then she was gone after that.
Right.
Super competitor. So it would have been fun to play against her again too. So yeah, I mean, hopefully one day I will get to go play on Survivor again. But yeah, I think season 50 will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, who aligns with who, and if the old school players stick together and the new school, the new era players, if they can outsmart the old school players, and how aware the old school players are now of like the evolution of the game. And, there's so many new aspects of it that weren't there back then. So it'll be interesting. What about you guys? What did you feel about the season?
I mean, I'd say it's very similar to what you said, where it doesn't quite feel like the representation of all 50 seasons that they were going for. Like, it's great to see some of the old names back in there, but the names they picked are people that have played 4 or 5 times, and they haven't picked some of those that have only played once or twice. And too many new era people.
Yeah, like I think it's more interesting to like watch like the evolution of someone, right? Or like the evolvement of someone. If they were like 24, I'm going to talk about myself. If they were 24, like kidless and, much younger, and then they come back as like a mom, and you know, they are so much older, wiser, and stronger now, and they have a better grasp of the game. They understand like how to narrate and talk to the fans and explain what they're feeling. And you know, I don't know, I just feel like having people that play the same game over and over and over again, especially 4 or 5 times, can get not so exciting.
Yeah.
Right. And like some of them,
like,
I
you
feel
know
like,
how they're gonna play. Like, it's like,
Right.
and if they don't do anything different, then it's kind of like, okay, well, I don't know.
yeah, like I think one of those would for me would be Ozzy, where it's like you kind of know what to expect, and he's had diminishing returns every time, in my opinion. So it's like, what left is there to prove? Where people can say that about Colby too, but I feel like Colby kind of had a weaker performance in Heroes and Villains, so there is a lot to prove. Like, does he still have what he used to have? And that is compelling to watch again.
Yeah, I don't think he played to his potential at all. So I think you're right. Like, I think he will come out like super strong. And although like someone, I did hear in like some interview that like he hasn't really been watching the show since he got voted off, like since Heroes vs. Villains, the last time he played. So I think that's interesting because, you know, there's so much new, you know, the new era stuff, and that he will be so unaware of, and that will affect his gameplay hugely. So again, that it'll be interesting to see what he does and what he plays. But yeah, I noticed too. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like when some of the players were posting like videos when they got back, I'm like, oh, Coach looks really skinny.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Like she lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked.
You can tell when they lose like a ton of weight when they're like so emaciated that like they're like they got far. So I was taking notes of like who I think got far, and I think Coach did well.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I was shocked Coach could say as much as he was saying on social media.
Why was he saying a lot?
He was like basically, I feel like he was saying stuff alluding to him going far, and then before the cast got released, Coach was already like saying that he was on the season. So
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's funny that they're actually able to even do that now. Like, I remember when we were like casted, we were not allowed to talk about it at all, like until like the first commercial aired about like who the cast was, or like when they announced the cast. So now like before they announced it, people were coming out saying, oh, I just got back. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel similarly to both of you. Like, I'm worried that a lot of the old schoolers are going to meet a similar fate and not do as well. And also, like, I don't need to see some of them again. But, like, seeing Colby back, like you guys said, I think Colby's going to be interesting to see him kind of redeem himself, hopefully. Seeing Jenna Lewis back from all the way back from Borneo is going to be interesting. And yeah, I'm excited for Rick Devens, Christian, Charlie, some of those people.
I love Charlie. I'm really excited to see what Charlie does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, for sure.
What about Mike White? I'm kind of interested in him.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I wasn't expecting him to be on the cast.
I know.
But then he is. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it either, because I was like, he's famous. He's riding the White Lotus. Like, I feel like
I know. Like, I'm like, I don't think he'll get that far, because like people are gonna be like, he doesn't need the $1 million. He's not gonna.
Right.
I don't know how strategic he will be, but hopefully he'll be like really strategic and like blow our socks off.
Right.
Yeah. And then I'm definitely worried for Kyle and Dee as the 2 winners. Like, I mean, we know from Heroes versus Villains that Sandra and Parvati obviously still made it to the end, but I definitely think in this case, I mean, Kyle and Dee. Yeah,
I don't foresee that happening in this season. They're gonna gun for them right away. They're gonna get them off right away, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Camilla especially. Yeah. They're not gonna trust that.
Because they just saw that.
Yeah, it's like it's so fresh that they'll be like, oh, they're so good, like blah blah blah. They'll be the biggest threats right away for sure.
For sure. Well, this has been great, Danielle. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I really did. I had a good time. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Of course,
Okay.
yeah.
Thanks.
Well,
right.
subscribe, share, like, comment, and we'll see you all next time on the Tribe of Nerds.